Welcome everyone to the Infernal Brotherhood of the Scruffy Looking Nerf Herders. This is a live streaming video podcast by Star Wars fans for Star Wars fans, and today we're going to be oh my god, words are hard. We're going to be concluding our episodic review of Star Wars Ahsoka with Part 8, The Jedi, The Witch, and The Warlord.
So the Jedi was Ahsoka, right?
Apparently.
The Witch was Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
And the Warlord was Thrawn?
Thrawn, I guess, yeah.
Because I didn't see any warlording done.
No. I mean, it saw a lot of internal struggle and, like, seeing a broken warlord, I guess. That's what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Like, he's definitely not the Thrawn we all knew and loved. This is him, like, losing some major battles and trying to pick up the pieces.
Yeah, this is the Thrawn that gave up working out.
Mm-hmm.
He tries to turn every defeat into, no, this is a tactical victory. You're just not looking at it correctly. And then making the worst choices.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Jedi, when a Star Destroyer is actively blasting ground, and there's only two, like, little wolf creatures and 3 people riding them, and no one gets hurt, what's the point of a Star Destroyer with all their turbo lasers?
Yeah,
Why
man.
would you even bother?
They should have at least got fucked up, as collateral damage. Like,
there should have been, like,
turbo lasers. That's how they glassed Mandalore, for fuck's sake. Well, I guess, no, they changed that and they were bombers. But still, turbo lasers.
There's just no way that you could ride next to a massive blasting turbo laser bolt and not be physically affected by it. Mm-hmm. You just couldn't do it. There's just the residual effect of the energy dispersing into the ground that explodes like a grenade that would then force you off the mount or force the mount to die from rock throwing into its face and ripping its ribs apart. Or, there's just so much about this episode that drives me fucking insane. So much.
It's so disappointing too, because it's like, you know what, maybe the finale is gonna be good. You know what, this is what's gonna be leading into the new season of The Mandalorian. This is what supposedly is gonna be leading into the new trilogy.
Yeah, it went out like a silent fart.
Yeah,
upsetting.
And there was a little bit of moisture at the end. Like, you're gonna have to change afterwards.
Yeah. So this is, of course, written by Dave Filoni, who I am now convinced does not know how to write. I always bitched about George Lucas's writing.
He's stuck with a theme, though. Like, he could somewhat make up his mind and write it out.
I felt like Dave Filoni just shit the bed on every logical explanation of events.
Well, it's like,
because there's no logic. It's just, this happens. Okay, well, we'll just go along with it. And then this happens. Why? Because we just want to go along with it. And then this happens. No logic was put into the script.
No, I feel like this was literally just a season of what they consider fan service. Yeah. Like, let's bring in cool things so that it's now canonical and in live action. And those things they brought in were cool, but the context, not really. It's like, cool, man. Just stick with internet shorts if you want to do this kind of shit. Give us little one-offs.
That would actually work perfectly.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like look at the Visions model, or Tells the Jedi to a lesser extent. Like, those were great because they were shorts. They were self-contained stories where you could do a lot with a little bit of time, but it felt tight and concise.
Yeah.
This, no.
Yeah. This is directed by Rick Famuyiwa?
Yep, that sounds about right.
October 3rd is when it aired. And I've been like sitting with this in my head and stewing and rolling it over since it aired this past Tuesday, working out, okay, there's no possible way that the entirety of this season meant nothing. But when you reflect back on what the entirety of this season meant, like what the motivations were when we started the season and where we ended up, not only did it fail to meet up with the expectations of the beginning of the season, but it also ruined the end of Rebels by negating the entire sacrifice that was made.
Yep.
So So not only did it cut its own nose off to spite its own face, it fucked Rebels over just for extra merit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah, Freddie Prinze Jr. is rolling in his grave right now. He's not dead, but I'm pretty sure he's going to kill himself shortly. Like, especially like someone like that. He's like in the realm of Sam Witwer. Like, they are, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I can tell, they know more about Star Wars than Filoni. Yeah, and Filoni just shit all over him.
It was rough.
Yeah.
So you can't look at this season without reflecting on the ending of Rebels, because it's literally a continuation of. Not only did they gloss over the time where apparently Ahsoka walked up to Sabine Wren and was like, hey, so, like, I want an apprentice, and, like, you're badass. Maybe you want to be a Jedi, even though you don't have any talent. And Sabine was like, fuck yeah, Jedi shit. And then they trained for a while, and then Ahsoka was like, you know what? I take it back. You suck. Never mind. And then walked away, and that's where we meet with the two of them. Like, we glossed over all of that, so we don't know shit about shit, which I thought they were going to do a flashback to contextualize
there should have been.
It.
That's the thing. Every single fucking series that they've done, not even Mandalorian aside, every single fucking series, there has been at least half an episode, if not a full flashback episode.
Yeah. Just to explain what the fuck. This, we got a one-liner out of Hu Yang talking to Ezra. Nothing between Sabine and Ahsoka, the two people that it involved, though they are frequently on screen. But let's not have them have the dialogue, which would be emotional and meaningful and impactful. Let's instead have a throwaway line. Okay.
Right? And it's like, when they do interact, it's always Sabine with her fucking stupid side-eye smirk of like, oh, I'm going to say something smart. And it's like, that's not a real relationship.
No, it's
like
toxic
at all.
As fuck. It is so unhealthy. So not only does it like not even set up the series at all, it just jumps us into it. And then the promise of the series is the overwhelming threat. If Thrawn gets back to our galaxy, let's pretend that we never read the 3 different trilogies that have been published, 2 in canon, 1 in legend, about Thrawn, so that we know the threat of Thrawn. But if you're watching this, you don't know shit about shit. You just know everyone's afraid of this name of Thrawn for some incredible reason. So
it's because they're scared they're going to have to pronounce the full name. And as the song says, it will leave you tongue-tied.
And it does, to be fair. And the fact that the whole like last name is actually the first part of the name, it's all fucking crazy, so it doesn't make any sense. But like the promise of this massive threat, it cannot get back to this galaxy. We have to have this whole series because that threat is so severe that if it gets back here, we're all fucked.
Yeah.
So let's ignore the fact that we have already seen the sequel trilogy and Thrawn was not a part of it. So we know he's defeated. So you're already undercutting the threat by our existing knowledge base.
Right.
Then they, like, the whole thing is between Ahsoka and Sabine going, don't you dare save Ezra. We like Ezra. Ezra's good. But Ezra sacrificed himself to save our galaxy. And so what does Sabine do? Fuck that. I want to fuck Ezra. But in a brotherly, like, weird way.
Right.
Not in a regular way.
That's still the thing that I don't get. It's like, what? Are they going to fuck or are they not going to fuck? Because we got 4 seasons of someone going real fucking hard to try to bang a Mandalorian. And then this? Oh, he's my brother. He's my best friend. I miss him.
So you'll sacrifice your entire galaxy for one person. Millions of lives potentially lost for one person. And you're like an honorable Mandalorian warrior? Or an honorable Jedi apprentice? Fuck you. You're a selfish bitch.
Yeah, it's no. Like the fact of the matter is that goes against both creeds.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, it's wild.
It would make sense if she was trying to bang him. Like I'm sorry, but as a human, I think I can safely say that sex is a great motivator. Sex and food. Like if he had a plate of nachos, and they were good nachos, I'd probably go try to save him. At least for one. If I wanted to fuck him, obviously I'm gonna go try to save him. Yeah. But like, oh, my brother sacrificed himself to save all of existence, everything that we know and everything that will ever be. Fucking cheers to him. I'm going to get shitty once a year in his memories. That's what you do. That's a normal fucking thing.
Yeah. So instead of that, the whole time we have Ahsoka going, don't you do it. Don't do it. And she's like, okay, I won't do it. She's like, do it. Okay, I won't. Mm-hmm. And then she gets there and she fucking does it anyway. And then Ahsoka gets there and she's like, you know what? It's okay. I was just kidding. We don't even have to worry about Thrawn. Let's hug it out, Ezra. Great to see you. Where are you guys moving to? Who gives a fuck? Let's just hang out for a while with these little crab people. Meanwhile, the fucking show's premise is like right fucking there. And you guys are like, I don't know, playing pickup sticks? Like, what the fuck? Right. Ahsoka just completely forgot her whole point of this entire show. The fucking scene that we opened on. And she's just like, fuck it. I don't care anymore. I saw Anakin, and he was cool to me. So, you know, I rubbed one out.
She's Ahsoka the White. That's how it goes, man. That's just how it goes. Hey, Chris. But yeah, it's like, oh God, I don't even know where to go with that. It's just so frustrating because none of it made sense. Yeah. And like we've had so much time to think about the series in its entirety, you know, especially with the ending. And it's just, every time I try to think, okay, this is why they are going that route, logic stops me and it's like, no, don't explain anything for them. Don't try to rationalize it. It's like trying to say, oh no, my husband doesn't beat me. This black eye is because I hit a doorknob. Yeah. Like all you're doing is you're defending your abuser.
Yeah. Or I deserved it. I spoke out of line.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I feel like
what?
That's what's happening when I'm like, no, this made sense. You know what? I'm going to sit here with a notepad. And I'm going to figure this shit out the same way I did the Silmarillion. Difference is the Silmarillion makes sense.
A wall full of like tacks and yarn going from thought bubble to thought bubble. Trying
straight
to
up.
this goddamn shit out.
It's the Charlie Day meme of him like this with red string everywhere.
100%. Yeah. So if we say the reason why Thrawn didn't just go into space immediately when he had all the coffins aboard, when Ahsoka was nowhere near to the goddamn Chimera, and dock with the Scion and fly away, was because Filoni wanted to give us a little bit of cool fan service with a bunch of zombie troopers and have a great fight scene. Even that failed because they would never have made it to the goddamn tower with a Star Destroyer laser blasting the ground. You just cannot. There's no universe where that works.
No.
Just the residual blast areas would fucking murder you.
Well, the thing is, like, the whole idea of, like, a force shield around yourself, that's a dark side trait. That is something, I don't know if it's canonical anymore, so I'm just going to naturally assume anything I say is not canonical. But the only time we've ever seen any sort of protection like that has been dark side shit. Like, most notably, Darth Bane. Like, that motherfucker, umbrella? I don't need a fucking umbrella. I'm just going to walk through the fucking rain. Oh, maybe I'll bust out my lightsaber and whack away all the fucking the raindrops. Like, that's the only time we've ever seen shit like that. So to have, like, that's the only thing that would make sense as to how they survived. But then it's at that same time, it's how. Yeah. Like, because that's not only protecting yourself, that's protecting your mount, and that's likely beaconing off and protecting your fellow people that you're leaving with. Yeah. It's just too much.
We're presented with a show that full out states, Sabine, you can't use the Force. Mm-hmm. You suck. You have zero Force ability, less than anyone I've ever met in my entire life. There's no way you could possibly use the Force. Hu Yang says it. Ahsoka says it. Sabine admits it. We see her try and fail. She cannot do it. And then, when it really fits the narrative, suddenly she is literally better than Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
She is pulling lightsabers without trying. She is force pushing someone else, never having tried it once, and just being able to shoot him hundreds of yards up to a fucking open bay in a Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
Not like, we have to see the bridge. You can't just literally say to the audience, Sabine, you're the worst Jedi we've ever met with zero force ability. Cut to force pushing Ezra to his safety.
Yeah.
Wait, what the fuck? You just told me no, now you're saying yes?
Yeah, it's so stupid. It like there's just no way that works. Like I understand, when in a moment of pure terror or pure desperation, it happens that you might exhibit some superhuman abilities. I mean, that's just real life, like a mother lifting a car off of their child or something like that. But this, even with that in mind, this is a fucking stretch. Like getting her lightsaber, cool. That's understandable. But pushing a fucking human being up in the air into a moving ship, no.
Yeah, and the fact that Ezra is just the biggest goddamn asshole in this whole show. He sacrifices his life. They come to him and he's like, I was wondering if I was ever going to get saved. No, you sacrifice yourself expecting death to save them, not to have them come get you. And then the next thing we see is, I don't need my lightsaber. I got my force. I've been training. Cut to the next episode. God, build me a lightsaber. Fuck, I gotta get this quick. Like, what?
Right. And then fucking arguing with Hu Yang about building a fucking lightsaber. Oh, no, I know what I'm doing. Bleh. And then Hu Yang, cool, man. Here's the emitter that your fucking master used. Does this maybe work for you, you fucking you stupid little cunt? God.
At no point does he say, why are you here? I sacrificed myself so that you would live. What if you're here? That means Thrawn can leave. So let's bring up the next huge glaring fucking plot hole that seemingly no one has ever thought of, even the dude who fucking wrote it. Space whales apparently have one migration path. That is to and from their galaxy and that planet to this galaxy and this planet. That's the one-way thing. In a decade, the greatest tactician of all the galaxy never figured that out. He never once saw whales showing up, dying, leaving and growing and coming back and then leaving again going, I wonder, are they going to the galaxy that I just fucking left and then hopping aboard? Not once in a decade? What the fuck is he doing here? Like, how long does it take to wake up a fucking night sister? Like, hey, wake up, wake up.
Yeah.
It makes zero goddamn sense. And then the first time Ahsoka sees it, not in a decade of examining, the only thing she can examine is the sky above her, wishing and dreaming she was in another galaxy. The first time she sees a space whale, she's like, oh, I'm getting in his mouth for sure. He's taking me to Thrawn. Like, of course.
Yeah.
The greatest tactician in the galaxy, can't figure it out. Ahsoka, no problem. Every guy in this show, I hate going to this, but every guy in the show is a fucking moron. Every girl in this show is amazing. And it's never been personified as strongly as now in this show. And it really kind of bothers me. Ezra is supposed to be this amazing Jedi who watched his master die. He trained in secret. He fought the fucking rebellion. He faced off against Vader and lived. He went through the world between worlds. He faced off against the Emperor and lived. He saved Ahsoka's life. And he's a bumbling idiot in this. Ahsoka's the genius. There's zero character arcs for anyone.
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't make sense too, especially with Ezra. Like, if he's been training this whole fucking time to the point where he's like, force pushing everybody, and that's how he fucking fights. Like, how do you become a lesser person with more work? Like, that's not how it works. Unless you're like doing like some Kung Pao Enter the Fist type training where they're just fucking with you. Yeah. But it doesn't make any sense.
I got to be honest. There are elements of this series that I really did enjoy.
That's the hard part. And that's, I was going to say, I agree with you, Pika fan, like really mixed feelings on this. I mean, not just the finale, everything. Yeah. Like there's things that are so fucking cool. Like, why are we just now seeing this? And then there's the story. Yeah. It's so just, hard.
Logically, it's just not holding up for me. It really hurts because it seems like it's really easy fixes. I feel like if a second draft was proposed, all of this would have been resolved. Like, okay, we have 8 episodes. We need to tell Ahsoka's self-doubt story arc. We need to tell Sabine Wren's failure to communicate with the Force story arc. We need to tell Baylan Skoll's story arc, and we need to tell Thrawn's / Ezra's story arc. In 8 episodes, that's a tall order, but I feel like you could tell it but this didn't do it.
No, I honestly, I gotta disagree with you, man. I feel like that's not a tall order, especially with these being near hour run times.
Right.
First episode, Ahsoka's shit. Or, actually, I'll change that. First episode is Sabine. Second episode is Ahsoka. Then we get the Thrawn Ezra thing, and then we get the story, which, quite frankly, I feel like with Skull and Hati, like, that's the real interesting part. That's the cool shit. That's what we should have seen. That should have been like a strong B story where that's going throughout the entirety of the rest of the season, alongside the whole conflict and subsequently, Thrawn leaving. I feel like that's not that damn difficult.
Yeah,
but I guess it was.
Well, it's definitely difficult. They couldn't figure out how to do it. But there's just still huge glaring plot holes that we don't know what happened. Yeah. First of all, when Ahsoka approached Sabine Wren to train her for the first time, kind of seems important, seeming now that she's a fucking Jedi, apparently. We never learned what the fuck happened between Thrawn and Ezra when they got to this planet. And then Thrawn getting to the Night Sisters, discovering their Night Sisters and hedging his bet, going, I bet these witches would help me. Let's wake them up. Lick your fingers, everyone, and put it in their ears.
Yes.
Like, I don't know how you guys wake people up, but, that's how
I mean, it's the most effective way. It really is.
It works every fucking time.
I mean, that's what I do with my clients when they pass out, man. I don't even bother taking the gloves off, just right in.
He's a tattoo artist, not a proctologist.
Whatever. Let's let that.
Okay.
That legend go.
Forget what I'm saying. So, Chris, good to see you. Wanted to see our thoughts on Balin's ending. What ending? We didn't even get to see him. Like, he was standing on the hand of a statue, but
okay, and that's the thing. That's another thing. That was so fucking cool. Like, that imagery
really
was amazing. That is honestly what I figured. Like, I kind of figured that was his thing, was he was going to be trying to get to the world between worlds. Because what the fuck else would there be? Like, some fount of power. It's either that or Abeloth. Yeah. Both of which could possibly be the thing, that beacon in the distance. That was so awesome. All of which are related
too, so.
But that's it. Like, we get a quick visual, him standing on the big sprawling statue of the father, and then a flash in the distance, and then that's it. It's like, that's all we wanted this season, was to see what he was gonna do, because he's cool as fuck.
And he's been telling us this whole time. Like, we opened the show with him and Ahsoka, him boarding a damn rebellion freighter and fucking people up, and Ahsoka fucking up robots and shit. Like, that's how we open the show. And we see Ahsoka's failure of a journey. We don't even get to see his failure or his success. We just see him standing on a statue looking longingly off at Mount Doom. That's it. That's all we got. This was more Lord of the Rings on his side than anything Star Wars I've ever seen or read. And it was just like, Lord of the Rings does it better. Don't fake Lord of the Rings. You're Star Wars. Do Star Wars. Like, you've already dived us head deep, like dunked us into this fantasy sci-fi, which is the elements of Star Wars that I happen to genuinely love. And all of the elements are there, but you can't just throw elements at a board and expect, it's not Pinterest. We're not looking at elements at a time. We're looking at the tapestry that you're fucking weaving here, Dave, and you suck at weaving. There's no connective tissue. You're just like, oh, here's a cool idea. Here's a cool idea. Oh, shit, we got to do something with him. Here's a cool idea. Fuck you. Write a goddamn story.
Like. It's like they got a dartboard, and they're just, okay, we're using that Post-it note. We're going to use that one. And, I landed on, I guess we're going with that one.
Yeah, it's so goddamn frustrating, because it seems like it could have been so... You and I, we can brainstorm for half an hour and fix this whole goddamn series.
Half an hour? Fuck. Half an hour, we'll fix the entire everything, not counting the Mandalorian season 1 and 2.
I'm just saying, we're a couple of fucking assholes doing a stupid show. Like,
professional
writers should
what
be
we're talking about. Fuck.
I'm still feeling the dinner I ate. Like, hours later. That's the idiot that I am. Cliff, Pika, thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's great to see you. I do wish Stevenson was still around too. I mean, the reality is they're gonna, whoever picks up his role has got some heavy lifting.
I mean, is it though? Really? Like, okay, no, hold on.
I'm hearing you.
Let me preface it with, he was amazing. He was perfect. He was my favorite. Well, after this last episode, my second favorite part
Yeah.
of this series. He was Boba Fett, man. Well, actually, okay,
Oh shit.
he was a little bit more than Boba Fett because he actually did fight.
Oh shit.
But
He
he
fucked
really,
Ahsoka twice.
yeah. Other than that, and like the opening episode, like he didn't really do anything except brood and look cool as fuck, and kind of like build the lore. So it's like, I feel like it wouldn't be that tall of an order. I mean, of course, there's going to be, everybody's personal bias. Like, oh, Ray Stevenson was fucking amazing. We can't replace him. We fucking did that with Han Solo, and that shit worked out great. And I'll fist fight anybody that says otherwise.
I mean, they can recast him, of course.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that the actor has chops to do what he did. And I would push back a little bit because I think he did a lot. He literally single-handedly with his shit-heel apprentice walked onto a Republic cruiser, fucking fought and like pulled a Night Sister out of her captivity, and then the title character of the show fucked her up twice. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, that's what we got from him.
that
And then
just paints him as a badass.
Yeah, that's true.
And
That's
he's
true.
not
I
a
take that
Sith.
back.
He's a dark Jedi, obviously, but he doesn't want to like rule the galaxy. He's an intriguing character that actually has the only story in this whole show, where he's like,
Yeah.
I came from the Jedi Temple. I've seen the cycle over and over again. I learned about it. I'm here to follow up on ancient Jedi teachings. This is the beginning, and I want to end it all. Not in the bitchy, whiny, emo Kylo Ren way, in a very intriguing and interesting, well-written way. And this is where I come into some like cognitive dissonance, because how can Dave Filoni write Balin's Skull and not Ahsoka, the character he created as well? Like, this is an Ahsoka that she starts the show as like self-doubting and confused and weak, but that's not where we left her in Rebels.
No, not
we
at
left
all.
her in
She was
Rebels as a fucking badass.
fulcrum. Like, she was outside of the Jedi Order. She was never to be a Jedi again. And a badass. And now she's not.
None of it makes any goddamn logical sense. Even if you take the road that she met Darth Vader, realized it was her old master, was ready to be killed by him, and Ezra saved her life, she has to process some shit. I get it. That's a lot. But we're not picking up with her right after that. We're picking up with her after that, and she goes to Mandalore, fights the whole Mandalorian army, defeats a whole bunch of fucking clone troopers, has a whole other story arc there, so she's already clearly gotten past the whole Vader fucking thing, and now we're back to fucking square one?
Yeah, it doesn't
Like,
make any
what?
fucking sense.
I don't know. Maybe my timeline is mixed up or something, but it doesn't make
I don't
any
think
sense.
so. I think we keep with the timeline pretty goddamn well. I think it's them. They can't make up their mind where they want the character to be. And I mean, of course, that's, human existence. Like, we changed over the years and we go back and forth on stuff, but not this fucking much.
Yeah, it's all over the place. So, I mean, ultimately, we get... let's talk about Morgan Elspeth. Because she gets a power-up.
Yeah.
She
and
got the mushroom.
man, that was so lame, but so fucking cool.
The whole, like, hands on the face. Her scar marks didn't look anything like theirs. I don't know if it's because it's supposed to be different.
Yeah,
or
I don't
grow
know.
into the cool look. Or that Night Sister was just like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm going to give you, I don't know, raccoon eyes or something.
Yeah, see, and that's the part, like, that makes it lame to me, because, like, look at Asajj Ventress. Like, that wasn't makeup. That was her face.
Yeah.
And she wasn't a Night Sister. She went back to the Night Sisters, but she wasn't one. And it's like, why did this person that was a direct line from the Night Sisters, who didn't leave the Night Sisters, presumably.
Yeah, she's like the
Like,
savior of.
Yeah, it's like, why does she look that way, but somebody that's within the same time era doesn't look that way? Like, that shit didn't make any sense. I mean, it was a cool ceremony.
Yeah.
But it was dumb. I'm
Cliff,
starting to
I'm with
think
you.
that Cliff didn't like Sabine very much.
Nah. Well, he accepted space witches and whales. Like, yeah, I mean, that's established. We've seen it. We've had time to sort of get used to it and grow. And so I do too. I've always loved the Dathomir Night Witches.
Beginning
from the
with
beginning.
Night
Back in
Sisters?
Star Wars Galaxy's MMO, I was playing sniping off Night Sisters and stuff. I mean, it's great. Great characters, great stories. You even spin it like you did with this series and introduce a whole new introduction of them. I'm game. You presented them well. I love how they did it. I just thought her transformation was a little underwhelming is all.
Very. I agree completely.
I did like seeing the sword,
Oh, yeah.
but I don't know. It doesn't really matter
Well,
to me. I don't really care.
and that's another one of those things that bothers me, kind of. Like, it was cool as shit.
Yeah.
It was great to see her using it, and she was just amazing. Like, she was a fucking boss with that blade. But I'm getting so sick of seeing like, lightsabers were the most feared weapon in the galaxy.
Yeah.
And now they're basically pointless.
Yeah.
Like, you might as well just have like a knife. Like, everything is, it bats it away like it's nothing. You can get
That was
stabbed
the whole
with
promise
them.
of like Mandalorian armor, right?
Yeah,
It was
that's
special.
the thing. Like, that was such a big deal because Beskar was a specific ore to a specific planet in a specific system that when it was processed a certain way, that was a side effect.
Yeah.
That was the only thing in existence that could do that. And now, lightsabers are pointless. Like, you don't even die
It's
from
basically
them.
just a sword. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the worst part.
Mm-hmm.
Arguably the worst part. It completely devalued the whole point of the lightsaber. You might as well just fashion yourself an old school bronze Roman saber. Like, you're doing as much effectiveness with that than you are anything else. But probably more because it doesn't cauterize the wound, so you just openly bleed out.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah. First of all, I mean, Morgan Elsbeth, the actress, is an amazing martial artist, and I thought she did a great job with fight sequences. I liked her character arc, realizing that she was a Night Sister, realizing that she could be then sort of inducted in and becoming one with the Night Sisters. I even swallowed the load that Thrawn shot down my face about leaving her to die after just building her up. I was like, okay, you're going to abandon her, the woman who saved your ass, so that she can stave off the Jedis that you could literally have just floated above the rock 50 feet and not worried about.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's like you're leaving your fucking right-hand man who has traveled from a different galaxy to rescue your ass. You're going to leave her, but you're not going to leave like a handful of
build the shit that you're escaping with.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, cool, leave a little early. Like, if there's a couple troopers that are pushing some caskets on board and they're not there yet, but clearly the threat that you're trying to get away from is right there, it's fine to leave a couple of people.
Yeah, he literally sacrifices some anyway.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. And I will say that with this episode, it was pretty cool. Like, seeing all these people like, okay, you guys know what you're getting into, right? Oh yeah, fuck it. Let's go do this. Let's go fuck some people up. And then everybody dies, and then everybody comes back.
Yeah.
Like,
we asked for it and we got it. So
yeah,
can't
we
complain.
did.
We got exactly what we asked for.
It's not the Death Troopers that we wanted, but it's the Death Troopers we deserved.
Hey, and I'm still okay with it. I did even have little gripes like that, but I'm clearly a whiny bitch, so that's okay. Like, I'm going to gripe about anything you give me. You give me a birthday cake I asked for, I'm going to complain about it.
Yeah.
That's just how I'm built. Blame my mother if you want. But, like, you gave me zombies. You gave me fucking Stormtrooper zombies. Fuck yeah. And better than zombies, magic. Dathomir witch magic zombies. Oh, yes, thank you. I will take it, and I'll be happy about it. And, like, I don't even mind their ability to use technology. Literally blowing
that's
open
the thing,
doors
though. Like,
shit.
so that's not that far-fetched if we're going to go back to the origins of Death Troopers. In Death Troopers and in Red Harvest, it was the same virus, and they did have some cognitive abilities and progressively would learn their surroundings and shit. Like, Red Harvest, we see the Siths on the Sith Temple. And sorry, people, spoiler alert, if you haven't read the novel that came out like 15 years ago. We see them. What's that?
We've done reviews on it.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Well, it's like they use their lightsabers and shit. They can communicate. And even in Death Troopers, they know how to fly fucking ships, for fuck's sake. So that was something I could kind of get around. Usually I'm not a fan of fast zombies. I think fast zombies are fucking stupid. In this case, it's like, cool. They're zombies, but they're not zombies because we got that with the the Night Sisters, like the ones they brought back. So it's like everything about it I was able to accept. And God, like the Death Troopers with the busted up face. So you saw the chomp chomp chomp.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, that was so cheesy and beautiful.
It reminded me of Last Starfighter. There's an
Yeah.
alien in the Last Starfighter that looked exactly like that with his mouth. I was just like, oh, I don't know if it was intentional or not. I don't think it was, but I appreciate
fuck, it might have been. It
I
was either
love
that or
Last
the
Starfighter.
mouth of Sauron, one of the two.
Yeah. It's just a big butthole. No teeth. They've all been knocked out for the pleasure. All right. So I love the Death Troopers. I loved the sense of impending doom that the Jedi Knights, apparently 3 of them, and one a multi-classed Mandalorian, is running from, because they're like, fuck, we're gonna die. We can't do anything against these. I love that, because that's every horror film. That's more threatening. Here's the sad part. It's more threatening to have like 7 zombies than it is to have a Star Destroyer blasting at you with everything.
Yeah.
Like from like 100 feet, and no one is hurt. Not even a hair is singed. What?
Hey, you know what,
that
man?
should be more deadly.
Those fucking hermit crab people, they were very inconvenienced.
They were inconvenienced.
Like, they were shaking their fists and everything.
I still don't know what they were doing. At no point did they say, hey, crab people, we know that you're running for your lives and you're always moving encampments because the local indigenous people that are threatening. Apparently, we've never seen the threat, but we accept that there's a threat to your existence. Mm-hmm. So how about you come with us to the most dangerous place? You want to do that?
Right.
And they're just like, crab. Okay. What? What the fuck? Why would they ever agree to that?
Right. If I ever watch this shit again, that's all I'm gonna hear now when they're talking.
crab. That's all it is. It's just it makes no sense that the crabs are going with them.
No,
they're going toward the most danger instead of running from it, which is their survival technique. But okay, you're Ezra. You're a dumb, stupid man in this show. So apparently you don't understand that the people who have given you survival are now being thrown into danger. Okay, you're a fucking idiot. Mm-hmm. But like Ahsoka should have known. They should have known way before those 2 TIE fighters. Not 4, not 6, not 8, not a squad. If you're really worried about getting off this planet, Thrawn, maybe send more than 2 people to stop the Jedi that you keep saying that you'll never underestimate again.
Right, because it's not even that big of a deal. Even if you're not wanting to sacrifice people, cool, man. Get up out of the fucking atmosphere. They're TIEs. They're going to do just fine getting out of the atmosphere and getting into the ship, and then you fuck off.
Yeah. It makes no goddamn sense. And then, I don't want to sacrifice 2 people, so then send 10. Send 50. Mm-hmm. You have troops. We saw the racks of TIE fighters. Yeah. Send them all. Fuck them up. And I know why the writers didn't, because Dave wants Ahsoka to be Anakin. Mm-hmm. She wants her to be the new hero of the show. Not Luke, not anyone else, just Ahsoka, because it's his ego, his character. She has to be the best. Yeah. So let's write her as the best. Okay, it's your show. Do your fucking thing, dude. But at some point, we're going to get tired of watching you masturbate into a plant.
Yeah.
And I think I've hit my limit.
I definitely have, man. We'll talk about it towards the end, but you know what? Fuck it. We're pretty much towards the end. That's what I worry about with the next iteration of Star Wars. Because ultimately the next thing that comes out, I believe, is Mandalorian season 5 or whatever the fuck we're on. I think it's just going to be the second season of this. It's going to be...
It is weird this hasn't been greenlit for a second season.
I think that's because that's what it's going to be, man. Like, I think that we're going to get beginning of season 5 where the rebellion, New Republic, whatever, those fucking turds, they reach out to Mando because he's a good bounty hunter, and they're going to go find some space whales, and Grogu's going to talk to him, and then they're going to go to that galaxy and rescue Ahsoka and Sabine.
That would suck so much.
I think that's what's going to happen.
Well, what's stopping Ahsoka from just getting in her spaceship and flying to the space whales and going, hey, can I do that again? And they're like, okay.
Well, that's because their spaceship's destroyed.
No, they literally flew up to it afterward at the end.
I don't,
Like,
know.
I just don't understand. She has a way back the same way she got here.
Yeah,
the most obvious thing ever. And Thrawn, the greatest tactician in the world, never once considered she got to this galaxy by space whales, so we're going to strand here. Oh, yeah, there are space whales.
Mm-hmm.
So just get back. That's the... We've already been...
Well, it's because he's not force sensitive. He can't talk to them.
It's so stupid.
Because words don't work.
Worst fucking writing ever.
It
We're gonna
is,
strand
man.
her here. Wait, how'd she get here? Ah, fuck. We're gonna have to kill her, I guess.
Yeah.
So send 2 guys. Fuck you. It's like he's fucking spitting in my face. He's like, hey, you have to believe this logic because I'm saying it. Wink. No, fuck you. It makes no sense. Make it make sense and I'll believe it. I even go off on a limb. Fast zombies that use technology. Loved it. Okay, I accept it. Awesome. But some of the shit's a bit too much.
Yeah.
It's very aggravating. Okay, so Morgan, awesome character, sad way to go out. She did it for Dathomir. I love that little dig in at the end. I thought that was fair because, again, she didn't come here for Thrawn. It was her sisters, the mothers, that were calling her. She came to save them. He is a happy accident. And again, they're only awake because he woke their ass up, but we never saw it. We never know anything about it. We never know why or how he discovered it because that's not important.
Yeah, and I don't think we will either, which is unfortunate.
That's the only stuff I'm interested in.
Yeah. It's like if this does become a movie or, God forbid, a trilogy, I really hope that shit's explored. I don't think it will. Because, I mean, kind of, like what Cliff is saying, it's not really, this isn't like casual fans type of shit. Like, most people going into this episode or this series, even if they had never watched them, like I know a lot of people went through Rebels to get to this. Yeah. And I warned them all. It's like, don't bother. Like, Rebels is fine and
I
all,
like a lot of Rebels, to be fair.
Well, no. That's the thing. I did too. I really did, especially after the first season, and I just kind of ignored Ezra. That ending doesn't pay off in this at all. No. Like, they negate the entire series with this season. So,
they totally do.
It's like, you don't really need to watch that. You should, but it's not going to help you with this.
It'll definitely add cognitive dissonance for sure. It won't build up Thrawn as being the threat that they're purporting him to be in this. Mm-hmm. And that I started the show by dropping that little mention of if you never watched anything before and you're just watching this Disney Plus because your kid got it, so you thought maybe you'd watch a Star Wars show. This does not explain Thrawn as being a great tactician. It explains him as being a fucking idiot. Mm-hmm. He failed in every single task except bringing coffins onto his ship. Mm-hmm. Everything else he failed at. He acts like he liberated himself and defeated Ahsoka, but that was Morgan. She brought the ring that saved his ass. He couldn't figure out a way out in a decade. So he's a fucking idiot who fails at everything he does. That's what you set up Thrawn to be. Thank you, Dave Filoni, for ruining everything that Timothy Zahn ever wrote.
Yeah.
How could anyone look at this tub of shit and think, oh, that guy's scary? No, you didn't present him as scary. You didn't present him as smart. Right. He's a piece of shit. Uh-huh. Fuck. It just makes me so mad. And like even the zombies and shit, he had nothing to do with that. Everything cool that happened, he had nothing to do with. Mm-hmm. It was all the Night Sisters or it was Bale and Skull and Hati.
Yeah.
All right. So the ending of Hati, what did you think of that?
Like, what the fuck, man? I liked that character. Let's see her do something cool. And then just, she's going to be the leader of a bandit group
of
now?
Like 12 dudes.
Yeah, it's like, does she speak their language? Somehow, really even though she's never been there before. This is a different galaxy. Yeah. Like, really not even consider it's a different planet. It's a different fucking galaxy. Yeah. And you're just going to, clearly the blonde girl, she's in charge now.
Because that's worse in every galaxy.
God.
I'm a rando chick from California. I'm going to lead you, okay? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
Man.
Really weird. I thought she was going, when she left Ahsoka, I thought she was going back to the the Empire.
Yeah, because that's what Balin was
That's the
telling her
only-
to fucking do.
Like, literally, yeah. At no point did I ever get the inclination that she would just, like Moses, wander the desert for 40 years until she ran across locals.
Yeah.
She's like, hey,
what
you
the
guys
fuck
have
is
any
she supposed to
water?
do?
I'm
Yeah.
really thirsty.
Yeah, man, I don't understand. Like, it's one of those things that I wonder if they actually have a plan and if they're actually going to follow through with explaining why that ending.
I don't know, man. It was rough. That
Yeah.
was really fucking rough. So I feel bad because I love the character like you. Zero payoff at all. And I just want to kind of harp a little bit more on Balin Skull just because he was the promise of greatness to this show. He was set up as the guy that Ahsoka had to beat. And then when she couldn't, she was like, well, I don't even have to. Nah. And he was like,
Yeah.
okay.
It's like, you're right, I guess.
I'm going to go over here then. See ya. Like, and they just fucking left. So he's clearly not the big bad guy, but then you present this promise of, like, what is the thing he's searching for? Because he clearly knows there's a prophecy that we could tell you, but they don't tell us. And no one explains anything. All we get is that, like, ending Lord of the Rings fucking statue, which it makes me angry how much I love it.
Yeah.
Because it has no promise of anything. We already know, if you've ever watched the Clone Wars, that the sister, brother, and father are dead. And so the only other reference after the Clone Wars that we got was Rebels, and that was how Ezra got into the world between worlds. So why are you confusing people who don't know this deep dive shit by presenting statues?
Yeah.
Like, why not show the gateway or something that would be much more obvious so that they then can, like, sort of clue in, oh, okay, he's going to some extra dimensional force thing. Because if you don't do that, you're confusing everyone who doesn't know shit about shit. And you're setting every one of these threatening characters up that we know. You're, one, completely ruining the trajectory of their character.
Yeah.
Or you're, like, completely changing the entire arc of the set up character. I don't know. The more I think about this entire series is it's like a whorehouse. It's great to look at, but you don't really want to spend time with it. You're probably going to end up with something bad.
Yeah, you leave as unfulfilled as you did going in, if not worse.
Is this supposed to burn?
Like, that's the thing. I fucking loved Ahsoka before this series.
Yeah.
She was
dope.
amazing.
God.
And now it's like, I don't give a flying fuck about her anymore.
All right, so
like, I don't care to see what happens next for her because I don't care.
Yeah, she's totally okay with having lost everything she set out to do because she wants to be there to support her Padawan who she didn't want to train.
Yeah.
And then here's this really quick moment which made no sense. Have you kept up with your training? No, bitch. I was a prisoner, and then I was, like, running with these turtle people or these shell people. Like, no, at no point did I ever have a chance to fucking train. I'm sorry.
Well, and what training?
Yeah, you
what fucking training? Standing and with fucking Hu Yang and waving a fucking bat around?
Yeah, it was a Louisville Slugger, so it was appropriate, but still. Yeah, it's just weird, man.
Yeah. Like, this
Makes no sense.
This series literally brought nothing to the table except for Thrawn going back to the universe.
Yeah.
That's it. And that should have been the coolest fucking thing in the world. And I don't even care.
Yeah, for new viewers who maybe don't know all the stupid, crazy lore like we do, or maybe better than we do, for the people who don't, you watch this, your takeaways are, oh, there's magic in Star Wars. Okay? And you're like, oh, there's zombies in Star Wars. Okay? Like, that was your takeaway.
Yeah, pretty
because
much.
Everything else was just like, what?
Mm-hmm.
What? It doesn't explain anything. It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. The worst part is I really wanted to love this. I came into this like, you guys did Andor, which is the most militaristic, non-force
Perfect.
anything,
Yeah.
and it was amazing. You shit the bed on a couple shows. This is fucking Filoni writing his own character. It's got to make perfect sense. It's going to be amazing. Go. And the whole time I'm just like, I feel like it's like I want to be Stockholm Syndrome. And I can't do it because my brain is like, don't be a dumbass. This makes no sense.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, it really is. It's like any other sort of addict. Like, it's bad for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to stop for your own like, if for nothing else, your own sanity. Yeah. But you keep going back thinking, you know what, this next time is going to be different.
So Cliff is asking, is Kathleen Kennedy the problem? I don't think so.
I think at this point it's not her.
Yeah, I mean, this is Dave Filoni's baby, 100%. So you have to, any sort of problems that anyone has with this show has to be laid at his feet. She greenlit it as the CEO, but what else is she going to do? Like, he is literally the descendant of George Lucas per mythology. And so, of course, he's going to write something that's going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, and everyone's going to love it. The problem is, I've never talked to one human soul or read one review or watched one review of anyone 100% loving it. This is ripe with problems. Even from people who love Star Wars, love Dave Filoni, love the Disney era, there's still genuine problems with it, structurally. So whatever he's doing to set up, it's just not working. And this is the point where you have to sell us, because it's the beginning. If you're going to make a movie or two movies or something with Thrawn as the big bad guy, how are we ever to believe he's a threat when this is how you present him? How are we ever to believe that Ezra is an effective Jedi when you've never presented him as effective, and he's the only one on the other side to fight Thrawn at this point?
Yeah.
Like, you literally took the sacrifice of rebels, swapped positions of the people, reneged the sacrifice, put us right back to the threat level we were at the beginning. So you didn't actually do anything but reverse time. So what was the point? I don't. It's just so goddamn aggravating. Mm-hmm. I hate being an adult complaining about this because I feel like an asshole.
Right. But you know what the thing is? Like, I feel like this show was meant for people like us.
Yeah.
Especially with the people that they're bringing on board. Like, they brought Thrawn. They brought the Death Troopers. Like, that is meant for people like us.
Yeah.
And we should have been way more excited. Because, like, all I have fucking said since the beginning of Disney's takeover of Star Wars is give us Death Troopers.
Yeah.
Give us Death Troopers. And it has only gotten worse and worse with more filmmakers that you see, and like how much they can do with the measliest, or the most minuscule budget. Mm-hmm. And then you're giving somebody who's literally the heir to the Empire, just the keys to the fucking Maserati, and he's wrapping it around a light post.
Yeah.
And it's so disappointing.
100%. 100%. Okay, so I guess the only thing we haven't really touched on is that very ending, the Anakin reveal. How did you feel about Anakin watching over Ahsoka and this whole sort of shenanigans?
Nah.
I was actually angry.
So,
I was like, why aren't you hanging out with Luke, dude? If there's any way, he saved your ass. You owe him some face-to-face time.
Right. It's like, it doesn't matter. Who gives a fuck? Like, we already know that they made up. Like, she's already like kind of been like, hey, we're homies. And I thought it was fucking stupid.
Yeah, I was really angry at that moment. Well, first of all, if it was Anakin, he'd be like, why did you not get on that ship? I taught you to fight everyone and win.
Yeah, it's like she did the opposite of what he was trying to drive home.
But she's alive, so that's what she learned.
I guess.
Live or die, man. It's like Karate Kid 2. Live or die. Yeah, so I didn't like the little drop that Sabine was like, wait, I thought I saw something. Must not have been anything. And then she walks off, then Ahsoka looks over, and Anakin's just like, she saw my dick. I pulled it out. I just opened my robe a little. What do you want? I'm a ghost. I can't enjoy it. Maybe someone else can. Yeah, I just thought that was weird. He was just sitting there smiling, and like, I want Anakin, the Force Ghost, the one of three ever, forever. Sorry, Qui-Gon, Yoda, Obi-Wan, and Anakin. They're the only Force Ghosts in all of human time existence since the beginning of everything.
Yeah.
I kind of want him to be with like younglings that don't know shit about shit.
So
Not
kill him.
doing like staring contests with Ahsoka on another galaxy planet. You should be like, hey, I know I trained you, and yeah, I thought I did pretty well. I thought you picked up on lessons. You know, your Lekus got out of the way. So the thing that you were trying to avoid with the whole Thrawn and murdering, genocide, galaxy wide stuff, you fucked that up. So I'm going to go spend time with my son, who is now the only Jedi that can fix this shit that you just fucked. So peace. Like, that's what that should have been, not fucking I'm Anakin.
Dude,
What?
That shit was so fucking stupid.
It makes me so mad. Oh, man. Thing is, I love Hayden Christensen. I love that he's coming back to do this stuff. I don't know, maybe he needs to for money or whatever, but I still love seeing it. I love the character.
That's definitely grown on me. Like, I've changed my mind about him.
Yeah.
Hell, I think we were talking about it last episode.
Yeah.
But still, that was so fucking dumb.
It was just super cheesy, unnecessary, and there was literally no point because she seems to be totally at peace with being abandoned on a planet she knows nothing about.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because she knows she can just jump on a whale and get the fuck out of Dodge. Like, that's probably why she's so cool with it. She's like, chill out, Sabine. I got an in. I got a guy.
Right. We just got to find the big one.
The one that opens its mouth and lets you go in it. That's how I pick my wife.
I mean, god damn it. Yep. Beat me to it.
It popped in. I had to throw it. I don't mean it, honey. I love you. I picked you because you're amazing.
Yeah, because she opened her mouth. I mean, duh, dude, duh.
You
don't need to brag about it.
Oh, boy. All right, so what was your least favorite part of this episode?
It's just fucking Sabine, dude. Like, I hate to keep bitching about the character. We already know I don't like her, but like, really, like, she became a fucking a Force goddess, pretty much.
She was awesome in Rebels.
She was. That's the thing.
Really
Up
awesome.
until this, she was cool, and with this, it's like she reverted to being a snot-nosed teenager, but now she's a great Force user, and it doesn't make any sense because we didn't see the progression of her powers.
Yeah.
We got, you have no powers.
Yeah.
You might be able to learn powers to fucking throwing Ezra. Like, it's just, out of everything, that was the hardest thing I had to try to wrap my mind around. Was the logic of that.
Mine was just the fundamental writing. I had a real problem with it. And it's one thing if, because you know all the lore, it doesn't make sense. And it's another thing if you don't know anything and it doesn't make sense. That's where I run into problems. Like, there's just structural issues with this story that make zero sense.
Right, because, like, say what you will about the sequel trilogy. It made some sense. Like, you could go in not knowing anything else and still appreciate it sort of the same way as somebody who's seasoned could go in. This, nobody knows what the fuck's going on. I don't even think the people writing it know what the fuck's going on, quite frankly.
Yeah. Well, considering it's one guy writing it, that's scary.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't know. The whole idea of everyone being connected to the Force, that's George's original view of the Force.
Yeah, no,
it's
that's
not
literally
new,
the Force.
And I'm totally fine with that. I like the idea that a certain amount of midichlorians makes you more effective in using the Force. That makes total logical sense if you accept the idea of midichlorians in the Force. So I don't mind that either. He sort of reneged on that when he went into the prequel trilogy, but the fact that Filoni's going back to the original understanding of it, that's fine. That's not our problem. Our problem is with the lack of growth that Sabine went through in being able to achieve her Force, because she made it seem like it's literally a light switch. Like, oh, I just understood how to do everything. Very much like Rey. instead of no, I'm struggling for months to years to try to pull my lightsaber to me like Luke.
Mhm.
So there's a huge disparity gap there, and it was their same complaint about the sequel trilogy, and apparently no thought has gone into it. Let's ignore the fact that the entire Jedi framing is we have to get them as little tiny baby children and train them up so that they can learn to use it properly. And instead of someone learning their entire young adult life, i.e. 10, 15, 20 years to learn how to use the Force, we can just do it like that.
Yeah, in a
Because
couple
we
of days.
needed it in the writing.
Yeah.
It make no sense. None. Like, they didn't want to teach Luke because when you teach people at an older age, they fuck up. They go dark. That's the whole point. And she was just like, you know what? I like being a Mando. I'm going to get a level in Jedi. And it's like a role-playing game or something. And so she just picked up the level and then she could do it. Like, all right. So that's how it works then.
Yeah.
Okay, well then I'm gonna force choke fucking Filoni, motherfucker. So Chris is asking, do we want a season 2?
Yes, I want a season 2, if for nothing else, closure, and so that the movie or movies that Filoni's supposedly going to be making is not the next installment of this story.
Yeah.
Because I feel like with a series, that's 8 hours to tell a story, basically. Movie, 2.5 hours tops, and it's just, that's so dumb. Yeah, those are some fancy emojis.
Yeah. There are going to be new, better emojis. And everyone look at the Imperial cog next to Chris's name. We have membership now.
Fuck yeah, we do.
It's literally less than $1 a month.
We're
and
legit.
It's just you tipping your cap to us saying, hey, we appreciate your bitching.
And we appreciate you.
Obsessive love of Star Wars.
Yeah.
So I'm the problem. I am an addict with Star Wars. So, well, with a lot of things, but I'm an addict with Star Wars.
The most embarrassing of all.
The shamed one that I refuse to shake. I will watch whatever you throw out there that's Star Wars. I've watched the horrible cartoons. It's Star Wars. I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
So you give me a second season of Ahsoka, even though I bitch about the structure and the story of the first one, which means that they think that everyone who else does that agrees that the writing is okay, and they greenlight more shows and produce more shit for us to complain about and still addictively watch, then yes, that cycle is what I am a part of. But I can't change it. I was raised on Star Wars.
It's too
what
late,
I love. Man. I'm in. I've got the needle in my vein. You're telling me not to push the plunger? It's already in my skin. Right. I can't not push the plunger. That was a heroin use reference, people.
There's more things you can shoot up. But true. Yes. Yeah, no, and that's the heart of it all. We're going to continue because what else are we going to do? Like, they're making it. We want it. We hope we have to devour it just in hopes that at some point we're going to get that perfect bite where just everything complements each other.
Yeah.
And it just makes you question existence and how you lived that long without it.
Yeah. And the thing is we might get another Andor. That's like the worst thing about it. If everything was horrible, it would be easy for me to be like, this is not fun anymore.
Yeah.
Why would I do this? But we got Andor. And so now I'm like, ooh, but they could.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, that was the perfect palate cleanser for Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was just a god-awful show.
Yeah.
And then Andor, it's like, this is the most amazing thing that's ever been put on television. Are these the same people making this?
It's insane. They got to get more people that don't like Star Wars to make Star Wars, because then it'll be great.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
All right, so I'm sorry. So we were talking about worst and least and most. So what was your most favorite part of this?
Oh man, Death Troopers. Period.
Yeah, it was cool.
Night Troopers.
Yeah. Why change the name? I don't.
Well, because they already changed the fucking name of Death Troopers with Rogue One.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's why they're Night Troopers. Yeah. Well, and it makes sense, of course, because it's Night Sister magic. But yeah, man, that just again, that's all I've been wanting ever since Disney took over.
Yeah.
it was so worth dealing with 7 other episodes of just nonsense.
Yeah. And I like we're sort of I'm emotionally primed. We're in autumn, fall. We're in the Halloween season. You throw witches at me and zombies and shit? All right, you got me. You get magic, zombies, and witches. Okay, I'm in. I'm 100% in. You can fucking beat me up, and I'll enjoy it, which he did. And,
okay, yeah, maybe. Definitely did. Definitely did.
I didn't enjoy it. No, that was my most favorite too. The zombies were dope. We had just said that would be amazing, but they would never give it to us, and then they did. So yeah, all right, I'm happy. Thank you.
Just proves they're listening to us.
Yeah, they watch.
Not very well.
They're not fans, but they watch. Yeah. So if there is a second season, what would you like to see out of it again?
I would just like to see something. Like that's the thing. Like there was no real story to any of this. Yeah. I want to see flashbacks. I want to see Sabine getting taught by Ahsoka, and then I'll be able to swallow this shit pills that they've fed me this season. Yeah. I won't enjoy it, but at least I'll be like, okay, cool. At least there's something. I want flashbacks of Ezra training because apparently this whole time he's been training.
Yeah.
And I also want flashbacks of Thrawn rebuilding his fleet and stuff. Like, I really want to know where the fucking red comes from. I mean, I'm assuming that it's from the Night Sisters because that's what they wear.
This is their version of duct
stuff,
tape.
All that shit.
Ours is gray, theirs is red. That's
yeah. I mean, cool. Give me a half an episode of them discovering duct tape in a distant galaxy, and I'll buy it.
That's actually what's in every one of those coffins. Is just a lot of duct tape.
You know what? Real talk here. As a member of the 501st, I can tell you, yes. You hide duct tape in everything that you can because that's what shit's held together with is duct tape and hope.
All right, I'm in for it. Yeah, I want to see Thrawn be an actual threat. That's what I want to see, a victory, not a purported victory, not him twisting a failure into a victory, but an actual abject, no one can argue this is him kicking ass victory. That's what I want to see. I'm sure Balin's skull is going to get into the world between worlds. He's going to threaten all of time and history. Ahsoka's going to enter and solve it. Okay, that's the show. I get that. And then she's going to find her way back to fucking Ezra and the rebellion and stuff, or the New Republic. I accept that. It's the title name of the show. So give it to me. Like, that's what we want to see. Just give us that. Stop giving us nonsense. So anyway, I need threats. That's all. That's why I married my wife.
It keeps you on your feet, man. It really is. It's what keeps you young.
Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to cover with this?
No.
We've been talking for
No, we got it. I was like looking at my notes here. We pretty much called everything except for, the only thing I didn't say was fuck Sabine or Jedi Sabine. And Thrawn's makeup was throwing me off a little bit, but other than that, I think we got it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you all so very much for tuning in, both live in chat or after the fact. We invite you to subscribe to this channel, click the bell, get notified by the next video, and we have memberships now. And we have merches. Look at that shirt. Look at that shirt.
Yeah.
He's a Scruffy Lurking.
Yep. Oh, I remember which direction I'm supposed to go.
All right, let us know what you thought about this show. We don't have to always agree, and we don't have to like every aspect of something to enjoy and continue watching it. We don't even have to agree with the writer's ideas, but let us know why you watched, what you liked about what you saw, and maybe, if you have time, what you didn't like in the comments below. We appreciate your time and attention.
The greatest part of Star Wars is the discussions.
Yeah, and until the Infernal Brotherhood can convene again, my fellow scruffy-looking Nerf Herders, may the Force be with you.
My loyalty, my life. I want to be a zombie so bad.